Venezuela is a socialist government with political structure similar to that in Cuba. In Cuba, they follow the government of central democratic centralism. It's a method of leadership in which only the people from its own party rule their their government, and they're very corrupt. They're very there's a lot of tyranny. People in Venezuela are very, like I said, corrupt. They only follow their own rules for their own desires. They only want their money. People in Venezuela are suffering. People in Venezuela are struggling to find what they need. They're struggling to find their resources. They're struggling to find their in medicines. People is not able and allowed to find their own. When they go to hospitals, they can find their own. They can find medicines. They can find medical supplies. They cannot be treated. People in Venezuela die every day because of this. People in Venezuela cannot have a regular pantry like we do in this country or every other country. People in Venezuela have to make lines for hours, 10 hours, to find foods, what they need, because their government is not capable of giving them what they deserve, what they want, because the government does not have enough money in quotations, because they spend it all on unnecessary things. People have, like I said, how they have to make lines, and they have a card where they are only allowed to have certain amount of items per, or certain amount of food items per purchase when they go purchase. So people is having trouble to feed their children, their infants. They are not able to live a normal, healthy life. Venezuela, because of the economy, people is struggling, like I said, to live. So they're running to their last resource, which is going out and robbing people, kidnapping people for money. People cannot live a normal life because they cannot afford to pay for their things. They cannot afford to pay for food. This is because of inflation. Venezuela now, because of the government and the lack of economic control, it's affecting, like, again, the economy in Venezuela. They're not giving jobs. They're not allowing for people to grow, the people to make money, because there's no jobs. And not only this, but the wage over there is very low, and with that wage, people is not allowed to buy food or anything because the food is so expensive over there. So they are running to the last resource, which is robbing people, kidnapping people that has money, and asking for money in exchange of the person they're kidnapping. People in Venezuela are not able to express themselves freely. People in Venezuela get kidnapped, persecuted, killed if you express yourself, if you try to protest against this corrupt type of government that they're implementing. For example, there's Leopoldo Lopez, who was who they put him in jail. This is very, very hard for me to say, but he was in prison for calling for a constitutional, democratic, and peaceful change in the Venezuelan government. The plan was to change to change the government to a more democratic way, and to be a more peaceful country, because the country was really divided by two, like they got the opositores, like the opponents, and the corrupt government. So they wanted people to realize that the government was not running as it should be, and it could be seen by the economy. It could be seen by how people cannot afford to buy food, even like one thing you need to survive. Like I said before, it's very dangerous over there. There are no jobs that pay well. There are no jobs whatsoever, because people cannot afford to pay their employees, because they can't even afford to buy their own food. The government in Venezuela is very, very dangerous. It's very bad right now, and it's hard for me to say because I'm from there, and it's, even though I'm in this country now, it's hard for me to realize that all of this is just getting worse every day, and there is really not much people can do besides protesting. And like I said, it's hard because if they protest, they threat the people. Students go out and they protest. They go on march. They march against this corrupt and tyrant government, and they just get bombed. They throw gases to them, and they kill people. So it's very sad.